This is absolutely crazy. The Dodgers are linked to a massive trade. Also, we get into the latest with Teoscar Hernández, who, of course, suffered an injury yesterday. We get into the latest on what the Dodgers are planning to do in this edition of Dodgers Digest. Hey, this is Mike Nelson. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I want to thank the 42% of you, the ones who are watching these videos, who've already hit the sub button. But 57% of you, what's going on? Hit that subscribe button. We're the fastest growing Dodger channel on YouTube. And by the way, we're the best. Myself, Brad J, we're bringing you everyday Dodger content. We got post games, watch alongs, daily news videos. So hit that subscribe button and make sure to like this video as well. Let's get into it. Of course, the Dodgers have had so many injuries at kick off the year. It has been an absolute disaster when it comes to their starting rotation and injuries. Already two key injuries. Basically, two of the best pitchers that were supposed to be starters this year for the Dodgers are down, right? With Glasnow and Snell. And now the Dodgers are looking to make a trade, right? I would say they are. Twins, Pablo Lopez pinpointed as Dodgers trade fit after Tyler Glasnow news. I mean, I think the Dodgers really should pull the trigger soon and try to get another starting pitcher, because these injuries are going to start to pile up. And I know they got Ohtani, waiting in the wings, and also Kershaw, but those two guys are not certainties at all. I mean, Ohtani it's still up in the air exactly how much he'll be able to pitch this year, or if he will. And Clayton Kershaw, same thing. It's not a given exactly what kind of Kershaw we're going to get in 2025. So I think it would make sense for the Dodgers to go after another starting pitcher. It doesn't hurt to have another pitcher. And I think getting a pitcher like Pablo Lopez would be, I think a great trade. So Tyler Glasnow, the recent news is that he's not going to throw for 10 to 14 days, and he's going to be reevaluated from there. That's what Dave Roberts announced this week. This was according to Valentina Martinez of Dodgers Nation. The latest update does not bode well for the 31-year-old whose injury saga has exhausted himself, the team, and fans. Yeah, I would say so. He is, of course, have said that he's exhausted with it. He wants to change it. He wants to fix it. The fans, of course, are upset. But the Dodgers have to keep going, right? And Pablo Lopez definitely is an option. This is what Robert Murray of Fansided wrote, that he'd make sense for the Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers specifically. He mentioned both of these teams. The Twins have looked to shed payroll for some time as their ownership situation remains unsettled. Of course, we know the Twins are basically up for sale, and it doesn't seem like anybody wants the team, which is kind of crazy. But, I mean, it is a rough baseball market out there. And moving on from this 4-year, $74 million contract, which is, of course, Lopez is owed, could allow the front office to pour resources into different areas of the roster. Lopez was an all-star in 2023, and he's maintained a 2.25 ERA with 26 strikeouts in the first 5 starts this year, which is pretty solid in today's game. But he's, of course, proven also what's important here for the Dodgers. This was on Newsweek.com this morning, was written. But perhaps more importantly for the Dodgers, he's proven to be durable, making 32 starts in each of the past 3 seasons, which of course would be, I think, important, right? We need a guy that's going to stay healthy because the Dodgers have had too many injuries, and Lopez could prove to be that starter. What does everybody think? Should the Dodgers go after this pitcher from the Twins? I think he's been a solid pitcher for the Twins. I used to live in Minnesota. I got a chance to see him closely during the 2023 season, going to a bunch of Twins games, and he looked great. I mean, I think he was a great pitcher. He was, like it says in the article, he was solid. He stayed healthy throughout that 2023 season. He was an all-star that year. The Twins made the playoffs that year in 23. And I think that alone, having the last few years where he's been solid and not had major injuries, I think should be enough for the Dodgers to make a trade if it's available. Now, because I think Lopez is now being brought up in the trade talks because, as we know, like Sandy Alcantara is no longer, I think, an option, right? He struggled so much with the Marlins so far. I mean, Sandy has not looked good with the Marlins to kick off the year. He hasn't looked the same since having Tommy John surgery, right? He has not been the same pitcher. Originally, I think the Dodgers were going to aggressively pursue Sandy. We even saw his name get brought up last year during the trade deadline. But I think things have changed. I don't think the Dodgers are going to try to make that trade. I don't think anybody is with the way he's playing. Whereas Lopez has had a very good start to the year. And I think the Dodgers would consider making that trade. I mean, how long is Tyler Glasnow and Blake Snell going to be out? I think that's a question everybody has. And you have to ask yourself, how long are these guys going to be out? I mean, if it's an indefinite period and you don't have a good idea on when they're going to return, I think the Dodgers, have to think about making this sort of trade. I really do think so. And like I said, Lopez has had a solid, last couple years. He's been healthy. He's been great to kick off the year. And I think it would be a trade that the Dodgers should make. I mean, I really think the Dodgers should go after, a pitcher like that has had, good numbers the last few years. But now the big question also looms with Teoscar Hernández, and that's now my next point here in this video, right? Because Teoscar Hernández, as we know, suffered a hamstring injury on Monday night, which of course was yesterday. Dodgers have not formally announced whether, this is of course when this video was recorded, the Dodgers have not formally announced whether or not Teoscar will be placed on the 10-day injury list. Manager Dave Roberts suggested that. Just as Dave Roberts suggested after the Dodgers 7-4 win, however, James Outman has arrived from AAA Oklahoma City for a possible promotion. Outman is on the taxi squad as of now, pending a formal IL move, which is obviously bad news because it looks like that Teoscar Hernandez's injury is it's serious. If they're bringing up players from Oklahoma City and putting them on the taxi squad, it's because there's a possibility that Teoscar Hernandez will be heading to the IL, which is obviously really bad news because he has been a solid player for the Dodgers, and in this year plus that he's been with LA, and Dodgers re-signed him, and for him to already start having injury problems this early in 2025 is definitely bad news. The Dodgers are going to have to now rely on somebody like James Outman, going back to the original point of this video, somebody that would be trade bait if they went after a starting pitcher, right? I mean, because James Outman has had to be on the trading block, prior to the season and even during this year. He's definitely a player the Dodgers have thought of moving, right? Because he's in AAA Oklahoma City. He has not really contributed to the Dodgers the last couple years outside of that good rookie year in 23. He's basically been pushed out. He's only going to be playing right now because of the Teoscar Hernandez injury. When Hernandez comes back, Outman is on his way back to AAA Oklahoma City. So he is definitely a player the Dodgers are going to most likely try to shop around if they try to go after a starting pitcher, which with the way injuries are going, I think they're going to have to, right? I think the Dodgers are going to have to seriously consider making a trade again, like they did last season, because there's just too many injuries, two very big injuries, and there's probably going to be more, and too many question marks with the rotation. As always, make sure to subscribe, and let's go Dodgers. Woo!